Hey there, welcome to another Sunday Watch Soup. Sanjay just getting in
Yeah,
on under the wire there.
like
Excellent.
magic.
I know, he just sticks the landing. That's all he does. It just sticks the landing. Again, welcome everyone to another Watch Soup. Thank you for joining us this Sunday evening. I am joined and co-hosting help with my friends Clayton from the Watchdog podcast and Sanjay from the Engineer Wannabe channel. I'm Bobby Legs. Clayton, how are you, my friend? And what are you wearing on wrist tonight?
I am doing well. Had a great Sunday. Went to lunch with a watch friend, my friend John, who's in our various discords. Great guy. Glad he's local. We live pretty close. So yeah, had a great time. I'm wearing the G-Shock. I forgot to tell you the
Ooh.
name of it last night, Sanjay. It's the GB 5600B.
Oh,
So it's an outdated Bluetooth. It's one of their original Bluetooth models from like 2013. So
it is beautiful.
yeah, it's
Ex-
really cool. It's fun to wear.
Excellent,
Wow.
excellent. It's a good looking piece, man.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
like like the old graph paper. That's kind of what the display looks like. It has like maybe when in like for a drafting class in high school or something, it has that sort of vibe.
Nice, very nice. Sanjay, how are you, my friend?
Good, good. Still nursing a wounded knee from the tumble down the stairs I took yesterday, but yeah, feeling the bruises a bit more today, but I'm doing good.
Tell me about that. I missed it. I think I saw something yesterday, but what's the story? I'm sure you went over it on your stream
Yeah,
last night. But
yeah,
if you want
just
to
super
quickly,
briefly. I was helping a lady move, um, and I was carrying this giant tote of food, and it was heavy, and I thought I was at the bottom of the stairs, so I stepped into thin air and took a tumble.
mm,
It was a very slow tumble, but the
just-
Tupperware container was heavy enough that it pinned my knee on the ground, and I just
yeah,
slid down the stairs. Um, so yeah, just a big rug burn on my knee.
yeah. You're such
uh,
a Boy Scout.
no, no, it was a good time. Good time. It was
Okay.
cold and wet and windy, and it was
Okay.
I was soaked. I was a little miserable when I got home, but I got better.
Yeah, but you have an excellent watch collection, so I'm sure you took your shoes off and you put on your nice little comfortable slippers and you put on a nice little watch, and I'm sure you
I
enjoyed the
did.
rest of the evening.
I put
Yeah.
on Marcus's Explorer 2, and I felt a lot better.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I would feel a lot better too. Yeah. Hey, what do you got on wrist tonight?
Tonight I'm wearing my Omega Planet Ocean.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Great watch, man. I need to join the Omega Club very soon. I don't know what to do. I can't believe I've been collecting watches for more than a few years, actually for a while, and I still have not owned an Omega. Maybe one day. Maybe one day.
Speedmaster, calling your name.
I would love to. I don't know if it's gonna happen this year though. Now,
No?
yeah. I mean, I thought it was gonna happen, but we got a lot of things going on construction wise in the house, and now that we've done the bathroom and really liked what that looks,
Hmm.
we're just like, okay, let's get something else done,
Yeah.
and I think maybe we might be adding like a new wood stove.
Oh, okay.
So that might be
Nice.
next. Just
Yeah.
so, because this one over here doesn't really heat up the house that much. It just heats up this room. So
Hmm.
but in the living room where we are, it'll be a nice little touch there. But it ain't cheap. It ain't cheap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm wearing my GP.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
Seahawk.
I've been wearing this watch a lot lately. I go through these phases with it, right? I won't put it on for like a years,
Yeah.
and then I put it on, and I'm like, I love this buddy. He's been around for a good 18 years, so and in great
Wow,
shape, and in great
Yeah.
shape.
it's
Um,
incredible.
yeah. So guys, let's say hello to the chat, right, as we do, and then we'll get into the video topics. And we have the Big Wrist, who is first joining us, and so is James and Peter C. How you doing? Bruno is here. Hey, Meznine, what's going on? Stefan, how you doing, sir? Time Hill, Steve is here. Scott is here. Hi, I am Scott, and I'm here to party. All right. So is Chaz and Wayben. What is going on? Dib is here with the SLGH003 on wrist tonight. What's up, everybody? Big Wrist is wearing his Doxa 200T, his favorite diver. Interesting, yeah. Scrolling down. Hey, Maison 1 is here. How you doing, sir? Bobby's here. When Sanjay stubs his toe, does he scream, "Oh, ding dong diddly"? Like Ned Flanders.
I don't know what I say. It's more of just an ah.
I'm gonna sell a watch.
Where's that real master?
Chaz is.
Let's fill the trunk.
Yeah. Do I have any boxes in the trunk? Chaz is wearing his SBGJ261 tonight. James is wearing his Omega Wii Master. Very, very nice. Okay. Well, let's start jumping into the soup. Let's taste the soup. I'm trying to come up with a little intro. Let's eat some soup. Sorry. Okay. So the first video is Clayton's pick this week. Britt Pearce, Channel News, Watches and Wonders Surgery, Where I've Been. Take it away, sir.
Well, I wanted to touch on this just in case some people missed it. We're a tight-knit family in the watch community, I feel like, even though I don't know any of these people, we still feel connected to them because we're such a niche group. So it came out that she got in a terrible bicycle accident. She posted on her community page, I think, pretty gruesome pictures. It looked pretty rough. So this week she kind of went into detail. And this was a few weeks ago now. She went into detail about what happened. Sounds like a dislocated jaw. She needed surgery on her jaw, broken hip. She's experiencing some chronic neck pain. The poor girl, just terrible. You can tell she's just thinking about it, laying around, thinking about it, trying to heal. And when we're convalescing like that, sometimes our mind can play tricks on us. So I think she needed to make a video to kind of feel normal and maybe keep herself sane a little bit. So then she did this amazing high-tech animation of the accident. So it sounds like she was riding her bicycle and she's in the UK. A car turned right at that intersection and she actually hit the car with her bicycle. So she had jaw surgery last week. She said the things that don't look bad hurt the worst. So like the neck, and some other things, but like, her face didn't hurt all that much, even though it looked pretty banged up. So, she's been wearing the Speedy for a speedy recovery. I like that. I'm glad she's still making bad jokes when she's not feeling great. So that's good. I'm always up for a pun. She hopes to make a Watches and Wonders video, but then she got a little deep, and that's where kind of the question I wanted to get into tonight. This made her put life in perspective. I talked about this on my podcast a little bit today too. We know we're going to die someday, but we don't think about it because life just happens, right? We just kind of think, oh yeah, tomorrow. We make plans for many months in advance. We know it's going to happen sometime. We hope it doesn't happen for a long time. But this made her realize, 30 seconds before she was riding her bicycle, probably smiling. She just seems like a person that just smiles all the time. And little did she know, in 30 seconds, she was going to get in an accident that was just going to turn her world upside down.
Yeah.
And, we're not guaranteed tomorrow. We're not guaranteed anything. And she said, every moment is precious. I thought of Sanjay. And so the question it's not, she didn't bring this up in the video, but I just thought of it. And I thought it might be a good discussion topic tonight. A lot of us have, a fair amount of money invested in our collection, right? Tens of thousands of dollars. And say I'm riding that bicycle and I don't get so lucky. A car hits me and that's it. Dunzo. Do I have a contingency plan in place for my collection? Let's say I don't have life insurance and I have hypothetical me has a few kids. I'm the breadwinner. All of a sudden my wife and kids are left and I'm gone. Do I have a contingency plan for like the $50,000 to $60,000 I have in watches? Because do I have a plan in place? Do I have those values? Am I a person that hides my collection from my significant other? or am I honest about it? Right? And do I want to put that burden on my family to
Mm,
have to not only be grieving, but sell my watches and get
right.
value? I'm going to be up there like, no, it's too low, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, do we think about that? Do we and service costs and all that stuff, but do we think ahead, with our own mortality when it comes to our watch collections? I don't know why I thought about that, but, I don't know. That popped into my head watching this video because we could go at any second, and then what
Yeah.
happens?
Yeah, man. So I just had a really dark thought, right? And that is, man, if this is true that we can go at any second, uh, it's another reason why not. And it's another reason not to buy Marco brand watches. Right? I mean, if imagine if I have a bunch of Borealises, right?
Oh,
And I'm not singling out Borealis, but Zelos or whatever, and something happens to me, like those are tough for me to sell. You know what I mean? Like I can't imagine, my
right.
wife trying to sell those watches, and it makes it, and it's actually, I like the topic. Clayton, because we do have some contingencies. Most of us do, right? In case of this happens, whether it be insurance, whatever is in your 401k would get rolled over, or the wife's the beneficiary. So you could do the best you can to set up beneficiaries, right, for
Right.
that kind of stuff, right? And then have the discussion one day, hey, this is what you need to do, or you have some sort of like healthcare. I forget the term, but it'll come to me. That stuff seems to be taken care of, at least from my end. But the watches, you're right. You know what I mean? Like, there's no direction, right? Because we're living in the moment, and we don't think something is terrible going to happen. Now, look, I mean, I've had some, in the last couple of years, some people that I've known who've passed away way too young. And so it's given me that kind of like narrative in the background that this could happen at any time, and I'm very, very conscious about like my own personal health and trying to go to the doctor as much as I can. But that doesn't still stop me from getting on a bike and getting hit by somebody, right?
Right.
And so it's tough, man. It's tough. Like you almost kind of have to like have like a watch consigliere, right? That if something happens to you, who's close enough to the missus can, and she needs some kind of consultation or discussion about like, what to do, like they can step in and say, hey, listen, this is you, if you need the cash, if you need money, this is kind of like the process that you need to do, and somebody who can help her through that. So having somebody close to you who's also somebody that your wife knows would probably help in my case, right? Sanjay, what do you think?
Well, I feel like we've kind of chatted about this on our stream with Keith and Bobby K. We Keith has had a morbid question. I think it was Bobby K. It wasn't you, was it, Clayton?
No, I think it was
No.
Bobby.
Yeah, it was Bobby.
Yeah.
And I kind of live day to day for the most part. So I have spreadsheets. Kind of like I saw Big Wrist mentioning that. I have spreadsheets that I would that my wife has access to. There's a bunch of notes and stuff about selling the watch, and I'm sure my AD, the sales associate we work with, or I talk to, he would be more than happy to try and sell my watches for her, should she decide to do that. But as for as for thinking about death, I mentioned in the live stream then too, I'm fairly religious, but not in the like the superstitious sense, but in the actual religious sense. So I actually have a lot of peace about death, and I'm actually in a sense looking forward to it, because I'm not looking forward to retirement. I'm like long term, like past retirement. I'm looking actually forward to death when I can actually rest. That's my thought process, at least. So I'm looking forward to it. With my kids, I make sure I say goodbye to them every morning before I leave, because I actually don't take it for granted that I'll come back home. I'll say, hey, I love you kids every morning. And I say, if God chooses to bring me back home tonight, um, we'll watch a movie together or something like that. Right. So yeah, I have peace about death. I'm looking forward to it. Um, Everything here, these ridiculous games and all the watches and all that, they have contingencies. Like, plans are laid. I'm good to go in a sense, ready to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's me. But I want to wish Brett the best of
Yeah.
recoveries,
Yes.
speediest of recoveries. Yeah, she's it kind of hurt to see her like that.
Yeah.
Not able
Yeah.
to talk, and yeah, seeing her in that kind of pain, walking, like hobbling around, but still laughing about it. That almost made it hurt a bit more, to see her like that, and just to see
Yeah.
her laugh. But anyway, yeah, I hope she has the speediest of recoveries. Thank you for and praying for her.
I legit thought I was dying once, and my wife was like, she's like, it's amazing how happy you were. You're like, because yeah, I had a bad reaction to some medication once, and I thought that was it. It was like just weird, like ringing in my ears, and I just kept saying like, I think this is it. And she's like, it's weird. You were happy. You were like smiling, and you were at peace. And then I woke up the next day and I was fine. But yeah, that was odd. It was yeah, I had a bad reaction to some medication I took, and it was scary. It was a scary sensation to just be not in control and just feel weird, like I've never felt before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think about some of the times where I've cheated death and not realized it. And looking back, I'm like, oh my God, I could have totally just died there. You know what I mean? And it's amazing, man. I got like a built-in forgetter, man. I forget these things, right? And I should be more. I think I'm more responsible now that I'm older and I have a significant other and I have kids. But it's no matter how prepared I feel like I am, not about necessarily death, but just like all the stuff that comes with death, right? Like taking care of my family from beyond, right? There's always things that are missing, right? There's always things that I'm gonna leave out, and so yeah, so it's moments like this, and it just gives you some pause to perhaps for me to to prepare and make sure like I dot the I's and cross the T's when it comes to that kind of stuff. Anyway, and at the end of the day, we're just talking about watches, right? And so I think that part of her, story, and I think Clayton, you brought it out, was like, we collect watches, we're into watches, but it's such a small part of our lives, right? That there's so many things that are far more important. And you saw like the cascade of flowers that people sent.
Yeah, very cool.
Brett, from the community, from her Patreons and whatnot, and even though this is a small part of our lives, like we've developed friendships. Like you guys, like Clayton, you're further up in the Northeast, and Sanjay, you're in Canada. We would have never met if it wasn't for watches and COVID, right?
Right.
So, it's great. It's special, and it's all the circle of life. Joey B's wearing the Zulu tonight. Ken Spear is checking in from Pittsburgh. Chaz saying cars versus bicycle usually has bad results. Steve sending this best to Britt. Hey, Chris is here from the Luxury Bar. What's up, guys? Just had a big sale, so celebrating. Congratulations, Chris. Yeah, she looked pretty banged up for sure. Waveman says, in the States, we call it a right hook. I guess in the UK, it's a left hook. All right. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Watch Mess and Bobby saying, I don't like her horological takes, but I do hope her a speedy recovery. Rob here is saying, that's what I trust and will is for. Just did one. It covers it all if you do it right. Yeah, for sure. That's something especially, at my age, I should probably start taking more seriously.
I always thought that's something you do when you're older, but all of a sudden I'm in my mid 40s and I know a guy who had a heart attack and passed away at my age.
Yeah.
He was on my fantasy football team, just dropped, 44 years old. So I need to do that too.
Same thing with a friend of mine that I went to college with about a year and a half ago, and the dude was a fireman and, had a heart attack at home. You know what I mean? You think, okay, at our age, if you're a fireman, you put your life on the line. All those times that he put his life on the line, you know what I mean?
Right.
And he woke up and had a heart attack, so it's sad, man. The big wrist. My wife gets everything. Prices I paid and the dealer name are on the spreadsheet. Next in line is my daughter. Then it gets ugly. 20 plus nieces and nephews. It's funny. Peter C says, I don't have much, but I have a spreadsheet and contact names. That's a good point. When you get a little older, plan for your spouse, for sure. Bruno said, see you guys. I'm going over to the mortician's live stream. It's not as depressing. Oh, sorry, buddy. I've had a head-on crash on my bicycle with a car. I was in a turn lane and to turn right, UK car overtook a coach. I swerved. She swerved. We hit. Went over the bonnet hood. Yikes. My family will get Don's phone number if I check out. He will get top dollar for my collection for them. Cool. All right. Scrolling through. Yeah. So thank you for bringing Sunday night to the downer. I'm calling it. Text me when something's better going. Soon enough, buddy. Soon enough. Stefan said, I had a pulmonary embolism 10 years ago after a knee surgery and almost checked out. Changed my life. Well, yikes.
Wow.
Oh, man. Okay, so everybody's 10 years ago, I had surgery, but I had an early liver failure. Very bad combo. I prepped living will, briefed my sister and my wishes. When I recovered, I gave up booze, and liver is now 100% again. That's awesome, man. Good to hear that, Big
Glad
Chris.
to hear it.
James is saying, my watch collection became more awesome after a life-threatening health scare. I really feel grateful for that experience. Very true. Okay. Steve is saying he lost his goldfish. It is very yeah. Chaz is saying my favorite beagle died when I was 6. Since we're mentioning traumas. Okay. All right. Fair enough, guys.
All right.
We'll call that a hint. We'll get the hint. Okay. All right. So our next video. Also, I felt was thought-provoking in a sense. A Design Atelier, a friend of ours, who does great videos. The next watch trends and truth about cats. And this was a Q&A style video where he answered a couple questions and then got like a little weird at the end, I think, with cats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, we're not going to talk about that tonight.
Little sexist also. Yeah. He tends to go there sometimes.
Yeah. But he was asked a certain question by someone who, I'm going to paraphrase, basically asking like, how much time do you spend, with the watch hobby? Like, this person, recognizes the avatars from the random Rob live streams like that. He's that much into the hobby. And so, Jason, Design Atelier, was answering the question, and he said, like, if you spend more than 2 hours in the hobby every day, then it's pretty much a part-time job. And so that got me thinking, like, how much time do I spend on this hobby every day? And when I mean how much time do I spend with this hobby, I mean like not just like playing with my watches, right? Which I just put on a watch maybe 2 or 3 times a day. I switch around, but the content, consuming content, right? Playing fantasy, buying with imaginary budget, looking at watches and then searching for good deals or any kind of deal. on something that I may vaguely be interested, whether it be eBay or some of the online sites where you can purchase these watches. And man, I think I spend more than 2 hours a day. I got to be honest with you, more than 2 hours a day on this hobby, and that includes as well as chatting with you guys. Doing streams, doing videos. Man, I am really, really invested, and it really is kind of a part-time job, man. I mean, I have a full-time job, a 9 to 5. I have a family, right? And I do, spend a lot of time with them, of course. And then I have the hobby, and it's like, where does all the time go? It's pretty much, other than family and jobs, it's watches. And I don't know if it's a good thing or not. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a positive thing in my life. I mean, but maybe my wife wouldn't think so. But anyway, I'd love to hear from you guys. How much time do you think you spend on the hobby every day? And B, does it feel like a part-time job? And C, are you good with it? Sanjay,
Clayton?
what do you think? Oh,
Sorry.
Clayton, for sure. Yeah, Clayton, go ahead.
Yeah, I am working by myself all the time, driving around a lot. So that's when I consume a lot of watch related. So I'm not sure how many hours, but I'm in my car probably half of my day, and most of it is listening to watch podcasts or watch videos on YouTube, and definitely hours. It's more than two, I would say, every day.
Mhm.
But that's what you were talking about, it being a part-time job. I was getting so consumed last year. I took the whole year off of the podcast because I realized I needed to, just because I was spending way too much time on it. Other things were being neglected. I'm not very good at time management. All of a sudden, I'm editing and 4 hours have gone by, and I had all this other crap to do that actually matters, like maybe it helps get me paid and all that kind of stuff. And so and now I feel rejuvenated again to do it. It's very important to take a year off from it. So yeah, more than 2 hours, but I'm okay with it. I get everything in. I'm much better at getting stuff done and things I need to do. I'm strict about it. So yeah, I feel pretty good right now. If I feel like I need a break, I'll take one. Again, I have no qualms about doing that. I have to do that. I have to do it.
I don't think I spend a whole lot of time either. I don't think I consider it to be part of the time because I detail vehicles, and when I'm doing that, I'm listening to podcasts and past live streams and stuff like that. So I don't think I consider that to be opposed to my 9 to 5. So I feel like I'm making good. I'm efficient in my content consumption. And so I think overall it would be way less than an hour a day, way less than 2 hours a day, I should say, in terms of time I spend on the hobby. I know on my drive home, I like to chat with a few friends. That's usually a nice way to end the work day for me. And yeah, other than that, so if I consider that in the occasional video that I put out, so I'm really trying to keep it a hobby, and because of that, I think I only spend maybe an hour a day if you really push it. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with the hobby, and I feel like it adds to life, rather than takes away from it. So yeah.
Do you guys ever see, or is it ever crossed your mind the possibility of this becoming more serious in regards to content creation, right? I mean, do you
Mhm.
like a more of a full-time gig? Is that ever crossed any of your minds?
I don't know. I like what I do. So not really. I think I want to keep it separate. But
Yeah.
like what Chris does now, selling watches, like, that might be kind of fun because I feel like I'm passion to that job, and sometimes you don't see that with salesmen and saleswomen when it comes to watches. So I think I could bring some fun and passion to that. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I love what I do also. So maybe just keep it separate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for me, I think it was going there. It's around the time where the thing with Oris happened. I think that's where I decided to take a few hundred steps back,
Hmm.
because I was working with an AD. I was making videos for that AD, so and the AD was paying me to make like spotlight videos for watches. So I got to do videos for my channel, and make a video for his channel. He'd pay me for that video, and it was definitely going down the route of me being a professional watch enthusiast.
Hmm.
Um, but that thing with Oris happened, and I was like, hey, I'm not going to mess with my I'm not going to be dishonest for the sake of this. This is supposed to be a hobby, and that really was a reality check. So I just hauled backwards.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like I don't want money. I don't want freebies. Occasionally, I'll accept like a few straps, but usually, if someone contacts me, I'm just like, "Oof, it's not interested." I'm sorry, but yeah, that's
Even
me.
getting the loaner from Formex, I really struggled with it because, like, gosh, I don't know if I want to go down this route,
Hmm.
but I don't know.
Mm,
I don't feel too bad about it now that I did it, though, so I feel
yeah,
fine.
we
Yeah.
should be clear. We're not condemning people who do go down that route, right?
Mhm.
No, no,
It's
it's
perfectly
personal.
yeah, perfectly fine to pursue this as a professional career, but yeah, definitely not for me.
But what happens though if Clayton, if like your podcast blows up, or Sanjay, your channel just keeps skyrocketing, subscriber wise, um like what would you revisit that?
I'd still do something. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably continue with it, but I
Yeah.
would not quit my day job.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, same same here. I think I like being low. I want to
Mm.
be
Under the radar.
small. I want to know
Yeah.
the people who watch my
Hmm.
videos, like personally.
Yeah.
Like I try to remember people's wrist sizes and say, hey,
Yeah.
we have a similar wrist. I like that. I don't really want to get big,
Mm.
so I feel like I actively sabotage that. Like in the next video, when we talk about the next one, I'm gonna throw a nice wrench into my career, I think.
Sanjay, I mean, speaking about the next, well, we'll get to that, but I mean, I think, when it comes to Grand Seiko, like you're like the first, content creator that I think of to go to when it comes to that, and I think, if you play up that angle, I don't mean to call it an angle, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That's something that could be epic for you.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah,
I would love to work for Grand Seiko, but
yeah,
at the same time, I would probably not like to.
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I like I like I like talking about the negatives, right? I see,
Mm.
um, what's his name, Joe Kirk. And you can
Hmm.
say like when you see him in a visual interview, you can see him go like he wants to say something, but he can't. You
Mm.
know,
Right.
like when someone criticizes the bracelet or something, and he wants to kind of agree with them, but he's not going to. I don't like that. I
Yeah,
want to be able to say, yeah, like if you care about micro adjust, this is not good. But
yeah,
you can't he can't say that, and I don't want to be able to not be able to say that, but yeah, maybe.
yeah. I get it. I get it
Yeah.
for sure.
I like
Uh,
that too. I like being able to say what I want to say and not feeling
mm,
like I owe somebody something. So,
yeah, yeah. I got into that position once. I felt a while ago with a watch, with a brand, with a micro brand, and I was given the okay to say whatever I want, but I still pulled punches. You know what I mean? Like I still didn't really, because I just felt like, even though it was the understanding that I could say whatever I want about the watch, whether it was positive or negative, as long as it was valid. I still felt like I probably could have said more,
Mm.
and I never wanted to be in that position again. So never like since then I've never partnered with a brand or anybody in order to do a review. I just
Mhm.
didn't feel really great. So Justin's saying he's thinking about a Milgauss tonight. not the watch, just the magnetism. All right. Chaz is saying Design Atelier does some very interesting videos. Jason is a good dude, it seems. Justin, better than booze and drugs. I think we're talking about watch spending times with the watch content. Stefan says I'm probably reading, watching, interacting with my watches for 4 hours on average a day. Yeah. Bruno says, hey, it beats drugs and booze. Yeah, it's a common theme, right? Beats drugs and booze. Okay. Live and breathe the watches, baby. I hate my family. Oh, Jay. My son saying is that when I first started the hobby, I would set myself exercises. I'd take a category of watches I didn't like and look for something in that class that I do like. Or same thing with a brand. That's very interesting. John's saying I spend too much time searching for watches. The people I've met are more important than the watches I own. Yeah, I agree, John. But AJ says watches are better than people. Big Risk is like, I've cut back on the watch content. As a retired person, I have all the time I want, but I am a little bored, so I picked up a new camera, and I'm going to get back into wildlife and macro photography. Good for you, Big Risk.
Cool.
Yeah.
John is saying I am spending less time looking for deals this year. More serious? I'm not going to. Okay. Let's see here. Subscribe to the Lad's social media and various platforms. Links below in the declaration. Oh, thanks, Chaz.
Thank you.
Blue chips only. I think Ajay is on a mission here.
Can I just add that I don't like cats? We're not going to talk about that part of the video, but I'm not a cat guy. I'm really allergic, and I've never liked them. I think I'm scared of them.
My mother-in-law gets really startled by our cats.
Yeah.
I was a dog person. I still am a dog person. My wife, when I met her, she had a cat, great cat, and we've had cats since, more cats, and they're fine. I mean, like you don't get that instant gratification like you do with a dog. You know what I mean? Like they're happy to see you and they're licking your face and wagging their tail, and cats are not like that. I like our cats. They're good mousers, right? That's very important, you know, especially if you're living in the country. But
they had a wrestling match on our stream last week.
Yeah, they did. Sanjay, what about you? Are you a cat person?
No, I'm a dog guy.
Yeah.
I like cats though. They're okay. They're cute.
Yeah.
I thought you'd have something to say about the cat thing.
Well, I mean, I just didn't know how to take what he said. I mean, like he obviously, Jason's obviously not a cat person, and and really thinks they're evil. And I mean, hey, listen, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Cats are great, so are dogs. Did Britt come on already, or is she yet to show up? I don't know if she's. No. Mantis, they don't come onto the show. We just talk about their videos. But I think she's supposed to put out a video. According to her video, she's supposed to come out with a video tomorrow.
Yes.
So.
Oh, really?
But she had jaw surgery. I don't know how that's going to work.
I don't know how that's going to happen either.
Yeah.
Wow.
John is also saying I am also less interested in most micro brands. Let's see here. Sanjay is the preeminent GS content creator in the interwebs. I think so too. I
don't know about that. I think it was Mark from Long Island Watch, wasn't it?
Wow.
I learned from him. I watched and learned.
Little Treasury does a lot of Grand Seiko.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
they do
true.
a lot. Yeah.
There's a fellow who associates with Little Treasury that I think he might have been the preeminent one.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, let's hopefully you're overshadowing him now.
Yellow gold stunner,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dogs rule, cats drool, Rob says. Cats probably don't really care if you like them.
No,
Clayton.
they don't at all. No, they say we don't like you either.
Hey, Junior, how you doing?
Give
Good
me
to
the
see
middle
you.
claw.
Justin saying, I've never owned a cat or a Seiko. Wow.
Oh,
We
I
gotta
think I'm
fix
more
that.
surprised about the Seiko,
Yeah,
right?
disgusting.
went to Little Treasury last summer at the Random Rob meetup in Baltimore. Met Chris, who does all the videos.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he's a nice guy.
Yeah, he was very nice. Very small store. It's much
It's
smaller than
little.
I thought it was going to be. Little, yeah.
Yeah.
Lot they cram a lot in there though.
I'd be a cat person, says Mazon, but don't have a pet because living on my own, it'd be awkward when I have to go away. Yeah, I mean, you do have to worry about that with the cats. Dogs too, right? Dogs, I feel like need more attention.
Yeah.
Cats, you can put out some food and leave them alone for a day or two, and it's because they could use the litter box, right? I mean, dogs need to go outside, right?
Yeah.
But they both still require. I think it's weirder if you're Mason, if you're by yourself and you have multiple cats. That's probably even weirder because then you become a cat lady or a cat man. Anyway, okay, so let's move on to our next topic, and this is a topic, Sanjay, that you picked, and that's Theo and Harris. How we got Grant Seiko as a client. Tell us about this one.
Looking forward to this.
So, I'm very displeased. Okay. So just just the title was how we got Grant Seiko as a client. I thought this would be, like a really nice video, a nice story. I hate cat.
Hey. Right on cue. Well, a little late.
Yeah.
I thought it would be a nice story, I thought it would be Michael and Christian sitting down together and having a chat about, how this all happened and you can hear the purring.
Oh, you can? Oh,
yeah,
funny.
was it rubbing his face against the microphone? Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, so I was hoping it would be like that, but then it started like this Apple advertisement, and you got Michael talking about the Omiwatari and Christian wearing the Omiwatari as well. I should first mention that I do like these guys. I do like it when they chat with one another, and I do like them, right? They're nice guys, but they got the lore wrong. This guy, he owns the Omiwatari, which is called the Pathway of the Gods, right? And he's talking about snow blowing and gods walking on the lake, and the phenomenon is not explained. And it's like, yeah, then that's what makes Grand Seiko, and gets the whole lore wrong. It's supposed to be the shifting ice, guys. The shifting ice, it breaks the sheets of ice, and it looks like someone stomped on the ice, and it looks like Omiwatari, that's what, come on, get it together. But the on like a more serious note, they were talking about Grand Seiko being their first client. I haven't seen the sushi video that they were talking about, where they're showing this sushi chef, and they did this ad, I'm guessing, with Grand Seiko, and they were talking about how they made it like 6 days before the COVID wave happened. And I thought, and they were talking like they like kickstarted Grand Seiko's meteoric rise to popularity, and they didn't. It wasn't them. I mean, Grand Seiko was way more popular. You got Mark from Long Island Watch. You got the Talking Hands guy from Watchfinder. You got Adrian Barker from Barking Jack. They were instrumental in TGV. They were instrumental in Grand Seiko's rise to power. The hubris that was coming out of their pores, it was so cringeworthy. I've got quotes here. Okay.
Okay.
Michael saying the mutual appreciation we have one for another. The mutual appreciation Grand Seiko and Theo and Harris have one for another. We sat down with the highest people in the Grand Seiko corporate ladder and had dinner together. You know, oh, well, that's great. You know, that's really really humble of you, Michael. Maybe it was true. Maybe they sat down with the CEO of Grand Seiko, but I don't think so. I mean, sure, maybe they did. Um, and one really ironic and hypocritical thing that Christian says is they lead without ego, right? So Grand Seiko leads without ego. Christian said this, and he wants to be like that, right? He wants to be a leader like that. Another thing Christian said, they take inspiration and trust in the creative direction of a lot of talented people, us included. Can you believe this guy?
Yeah,
Can you
awesome.
believe this guy? Oh man. And in the end the whole thing turned out to be an ad for their LMG. Is it LMG? LMS?
I'm at LMH. something like
LMH.
Yeah,
Okay.
LMH, I think.
Yeah, it turned out it turned out to be an ad, and they were talking about stereotypical ads and being poetic about watches, and making an ad that doesn't seem like an ad. And I guess this didn't seem like an ad at first. This seemed like a giant pat in the back. It was like, we're the best guys in the business. And the last was the best. The last quote, the way they ended it. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay. When we open there, the consumer, right? He's talking about the consumer. When we, Theo and Harris, open the consumer's eyes to how much work Grand Seiko put into to earn their money, they know that it's unique. We have captured it. It's pretty well, and Grand Seiko deserves those sales. So we captured those sales, and Grand Seiko deserves those sales. And they captured how great that watch is, and they didn't even exist when the Snowflake was around. I can't. I had a meltdown, but and I should end by saying that. So this was the part where I was thinking back to that previous quote, where Grand Seiko leads without an ego, and the ego was just coming out of his ears at this point. Oh man, so it was a cringeworthy video. I wouldn't have picked it normally, but I would have tried to forget this video. But it was a slow video week, so I kind of had to stick to the one that gave me the biggest reaction, and it wasn't a positive one. And this also, I'm sure, considering how amazing Theo and Harris is, and they routinely sit down with the C-suite of Grand Seiko and have dinner all the time. I'm sure I'm never going to work for Grand Seiko, but hey, I'm okay. Because, I don't have that much creative direction. So anyway, guys, what did you think of the video?
Man, that was like the nicest takedown in Watch Soup history of a video. I mean, like, look, I mean, I don't know how. There's no way I could follow up that.
I know.
Let's go to the chat.
In the words of the great Colin, when he was looking at you guys discuss a Citizen, right? You guys were discussing a Citizen chicken watch, and Colin typed, Colin said, "It's bad, guys. This is bad." In the words of the great Colin, this is bad.
Clay, do you have any thoughts?
All I wrote was "ugh." That's the only notes I took while I watched this, because these guys they just make my skin crawl. I don't watch their videos. I don't enjoy them. I was reminded of I think this summer they made a video. Basically, Christian made a video bashing George Kern and Breitling because they didn't hire their marketing firm, essentially. So he just made a Breitling bashing video, and it's just and then this was the complete opposite. Since Grand Seiko did sign with them, now we just have to do this advertisement about how great we are. I don't know. Turns me off. Big turn off.
Taking the credit for Grand Seiko's meteoric rise and COVID, like Grand Seiko took a tumble after COVID, right? Like they were becoming unpopular, Like Grand Seiko was at its peak just before COVID, I think. Maybe that's coming from like the microcosm that is the watch community, but I feel like Grand Seiko was way more popular just before COVID. But maybe I'm wrong there. But
Yeah.
yeah, it,
Yeah, I felt. I mean, like, obviously, this video was something that they stick in their portfolio and present it to potential clients, and it's since they have a YouTube channel, I guess they're gracing us with the video. Yeah, the two of them, they make me feel weird. I mean, like I'm like,
Yeah.
I gotta go. I gotta go, guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's not that I don't dislike them. I think look, I think they're just trying. I have no doubt that they hustle. That they're hustling. But going back to you mentioned that the video, the Breitling video, like, I mean, like you're airing out that kind of laundry out there for the rest of the world to see, and it's kind of like it's off-putting a little bit, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if I was like a potential brand, well, if I was a brand looking to partner up potentially with a little marketing firm like theirs, or that's kind of like a hybrid YouTube channel with, and he sells his own stuff. Like that, I'm like, why? First of all, I'm surprised that Grand Seiko, being who Grand Seiko is, would throw them a bone in the first place. But maybe, and that's probably why I'm not running Grand Seiko or any of these brands. But it's just, I don't know, man. Those guys need to grow up. They need to grow up a little bit, right?
That Breitling video was very unprofessional, very vindictive. Like, okay, if I don't hire you, you're gonna do some smear campaign against my brand. Like, yeah, they're I think they're pretty young guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're like you said, they need to grow up.
Yeah.
get the lore right, guys. Get the lore right.
Yeah. Theo is the lore master. He creates new lore. Big Riss was bored, couldn't finish it. Bobby's saying that after seeing Theo and Harris's video, I didn't think about Grand Seiko, but felt a desire for sushi. Justin saying, Sanjay, not mad about Theo Harrising up GS, but instead mad about the failure of recounting the inspiration legends. Amazing. Junior saying that you've dealt with Christian a few times and he's always been great to work with. No doubt.
Yeah, I'm sure they're nice. I'm sure they're nice guys.
Sanjay bringing in receipts. Jay, he's a little saucy today, I could tell. Don't talk down to Theo and Harris. They have done more for GS than any YouTuber. I don't believe you. Sympathy for the Peso Guido's on coke, eating paella and driving G-Wagons around Manhattan.
Right.
Oh, man. That's awesome.
What's paella?
Paella is like a Spanish seafood dish on rice.
Rice.
Okay.
Or saffron, whatever it is.
Yeah. It was saffron's is what gives it its color. When I close my eyes, Chess says, I hear Theo talking. Sanjo has him down. GS getting pretty desperate. Sanji's about to turn green and shred his clothes like the Incredible Hulk. You know who the Incredible Hulk is, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Just checking. Okay. That was Sanjay being mean. He's one of those guys that giggles just before he goes postal. Yeah, he's like, like Seinfeld, right? Like the many episodes where Seinfeld is trying to be mad and it's just like everybody laughs at him. Yeah. Okay. Bobby's saying the only thing I respect Breitling is that they ignore Theo and Harris's $12,000 Breitling ad with rescued dog owner.
Yes.
Love the Breitling's greatest diss is by completing ignoring them. In terms of cringe, are Theo and Harris infinitely valuable?
They are infinitely valuable. In terms of cringe, that was a lot of cringe.
Yeah. Stefan, he unsubscribed to them after he heard about their Breitling bashing. They are full of it. What's that? Have you not seen Theo's hair, Bobby Legs? How could they not hire him? I guess so. Underachieving said, I didn't think it's possible that, but Christian became more douchey. Bobby saying the amount of greasy salesperson oil that spew out could cook a McDonald's restaurant fries for a month.
Wow.
Wow. All right.
That's harsh.
Peter saying having dinner with GS. Does that mean they happen to be in the same restaurant?
No, so the part about having dinner with Grand Seiko, like one of the questions apparently that the C-suite officers were asking them was, how? Please, Christian, how can we get our brand? I mean, we've done everything. Can you help us?
You're our only hope,
I
Princess
know.
Leia.
I know. Can you imagine like if somebody does like like if they did like a play of that, you know, happening in their video of like Grant Seiko on their knees, you know,
Michael is
begging.
R2D2 and
Oh man.
God.
Boom, watch family. Absolutely right. William saying, hello all, wearing my new to me Omega Chronosnaut. Very nice.
Oh, nice.
In Valparaiso,
Congrats.
Indiana. So what's more likely, Sanjay, you not buying a Grand Seiko or not buying some great straps from Theo and Harris?
Oh, I'm never gonna buy a strap from Theo and Harris. Yeah, no, that's easy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
apparently a lot of the watches they sell are not always in great shape or
They're
not
pricey for sure, right?
yeah, and they're advertised to be in a certain condition, and I've heard that from I think they even on the Fratello podcast they bashed that Breitling video and said that yeah the watches are not in great condition. So I
Yeah.
don't know.
You know what they do market themselves very well, and their website is pretty good, you know, I would say compared to a lot of online dealers, especially in the vintage space. Like it looks like it's professionally done, and I think that goes a long way into convincing people that you know they're better than what they are. Now, I'm sure a lot of people have many great experiences with them. I find that their pricing is kind of pricey, and I don't know. There's other places out there to find vintage watch. OmegaEnthusiast.com. I think that's the site. He's great. He's got some older Omegas, some older Rolexes, older Longines. eBay, right? Well, eBay can be tricky, but I guess they all are when it comes to vintage anyway, you know? So, you know, I don't know.
DC Vintage is the one I always
That's
check out.
that's
Yep,
another
they're
great site. Yeah.
Yep.
DC Vintage for sure.
In terms of videos, though, they are very talented.
Yeah.
Like the stories they tell are pretty. You know, they pull at the heartstrings. Maybe not that dog video. I mean, that was okay, right? But the Vacheron Constantin with his grandfather, that was a beautiful video. I don't know if you remember that one.
Yeah, I remember not watching that video, but I remember that it was made.
Yeah.
Jay is saying, and I heard this before, yeah, that their straps are made by Jean Rousseau, so they're actually pretty high quality. But I probably would buy straight from Jean Rousseau or somebody else than them, right? I mean, I'm sure the markup is
Cut out the middleman.
yeah.
Right.
Just take them out.
Yeah. Well, any final thoughts tonight, guys?
It was a kind of an off week for videos. I wasn't super inspired by anything.
I mean, there was a couple, you know, like I don't want to keep on going to the well, right? But there was a couple of Jeff McMahon videos out there. And so I was trying to you know switch it up a little bit. I missed out on a ridiculous video with Teddy B and O'Leary again.
I saw that one.
Did it come out this weekend?
It came out like yesterday, so I may have
missed
to I may have to pick it for next week. But you like O'Leary, don't you, Sanjay?
Oh, I love O'Leary.
Oh,
I was
okay.
just watching a Shark Tank episode.
All right.
And yeah, he's the best.
All right, we're gonna talk about that because for as much as you love him, I like hate him.
I like him too. I get a kick out of him.
This
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
he plays the character so well. Like
Right.
in this Shark Tank episode, he put the offer in first, right? He put the offer in first, and
Yeah.
then everyone else bailed out, right? And then he sits back in his chair and he's like twirling this red pen, and he's wearing this big suit, and he says, "Well, well, well, all roads lead to Mr. Wonderful, doesn't it?" It was so
Yeah.
perfect. I was crying. It was so good.
Yeah, I don't like him at all. And I'll if I pick this video, we'll talk about. I love talking about how much I don't like him. So I'll bring some charts
Yeah.
and some some slides and why I don't like him so much. But anyway, hey guys, Watches and Wonders this week. So a lot of cool stuff might be coming out. Hopefully, Rolex is supposed to be announcing something tomorrow. I'm going to be live streaming tomorrow night around 9:30. Gonna go over those releases that came out on day one, or around day one of Watches and Wonders, as well as a Tuesday night for a Tuesday night recap of that. So I'll be doing Monday and Tuesday as well as Friday. Guys, please catch Clayton's Watchdog podcast whenever you can. Link is in the description below to his podcast. Sanjay from the Engineer Wannabe channel, his link and Instagram, and both Instagrams I think are in the description below. Please give them a follow and a like and all that. And folks, see you next Sunday for another episode of Watch Soup. Take care.
Good night. Thank you.
Right.
Good night.